What is going on, Cosmic Crew? Thanks for stopping by the channel today. We have a new Marvel report that I absolutely love because I think that it makes a lot of the other leaks and reports that we've heard make a ton of sense. Before, there have been some holes in Doctor Doom's origin and Doctor Doom's kind of motivations for going throughout the multiverse and essentially being the villain. But with this report, I think it makes everything make sense. And I do believe that they could connect this to Kang. They're taking a part of the comics story that I really enjoyed and putting it into the MCU. And it looks like, at least I would like to hope, Marvel will connect this to Kang and the story that has been told in phase 4 and 5 so far. So let's dive into this. But if you're new, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel videos. So this report, it's coming from the insider Majestic, and they state a new leaked report for Marvel's Avengers Doomsday reveals that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom reportedly gains access to the Library of Worlds. According to the insider Majestic, the library is described as a forbidden multiversal archive hidden from everyone, including the TVA. Current rumors suggest that the Library of Worlds may be a plane of existence created either by the Beyonder or by He Who Remains. Now, right away, the Library of Worlds in Marvel Comics, it was created by the Beyonders. The Beyonders originally create everything, and when they decide that life has no more meaning to them anymore, no more meaning, they basically abandon the Library of Worlds. It is a place that does exist outside of space and time. It's a conduit between universes, so it's basically like a gateway. So if Doom used the Library of Worlds, he could travel to literally any other universe. So they abandon it in the comics, and Doctor Doom, or Rabam Alal, who is his basically his alias at the time, him and his followers, the Black Swans, they use that as a base. But here's where it gets really interesting, because the reports about this are a little bit different than the comics, but it just makes so much sense. It states, the library contains maps, records, and blueprints of every incursion ever recorded, along with data on future incursions that haven't occurred yet, giving Doom an immeasurable strategic advantage. In Doomsday, Doom's access to the library could explain how he becomes one of the most dangerous multiversal threats ever seen. The TVA reportedly kept the library's existence secret due to its catastrophic potential. I love this. I love this for a lot of different reasons, but mostly let's start with the beginning. What we've heard about Doom, the big reports that we've really been hearing lately, all kind of center around the same thing. Doom had a family, and Doom discovered incursions. He somehow figured out that the destruction of his world, the destruction of his family, it was because of incursions. And the big one that we've heard is that Steve Rogers actually caused this. So the big question before was, well, how does Doom know that Steve Rogers from Avengers Endgame directly caused the incursion of his world, or somehow directly caused the death of his family? That was a big mystery, but I think this would explain it. Because if Doctor Doom went to the Library of Worlds, it would essentially have all of the information about what happened to Doom, what happened to his universe, his planet, his wife, and he could trace that back to the actual cause. This is kind of similar to what the TVA does. I actually really think it all connects very well. Because in Deadpool and Wolverine, we learned that the TVA can tell when a universe is going to die. In the specific case that they used in Deadpool and Wolverine, it was because an anchor being died. Logan died. And they knew that the universe wasn't going to be destroyed until, thousands of years later, but they still knew exactly when. And then at the end, they knew that it all of a sudden was fixed. They did something, Deadpool and Wolverine did something to kind of cure that universe from eventually being destroyed. It corrected itself somehow. So I believe that Kang, or He Who Remains, did have the technology to be able to actually archive everything and predict everything. And I think that is all going to be in the Library of Worlds. I actually think that that was probably He Who Remains / Kang's base originally, because what we've been hearing for a pretty long time is that Doctor Doom actually knew of Kang. right? In the story, when we dive into Avengers Doomsday, Doom knows about Kang and he's kind of pissed about what Kang did. From what we understand, from what Marvel's original plans were for the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, they were going to say that Kang altered the sacred timeline. Originally, it had the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, had everybody, but he took them out, including Doom, because he viewed them as a threat, which makes sense. And then in Avengers Secret Wars, the original version, they were going to make it to where the original timeline was restored. And that in our new universe, our new reset universe, would be the universe moving forward that had everybody in it, which again, makes a lot of sense. But I think that this could start with Kang. Doom figures out about Kang somehow, he defeats him, and then he takes the Library of Worlds as his home base. From there, he can see literally everything into all of the universes, kind of like Loki right now. And so it's pretty good, counter there. Loki can kind of see everything, Doom can kind of see everything, but Doom has the advantage because the Library of Worlds exists outside of space and time. It exists outside of the multiverse. So Loki probably couldn't see him. I wonder if Doom could see Loki because technically the TVA also exists outside of space and time, but I think it's all kind of going to be related to Kang. It could be related to the Beyonder or the Beyonders like the report stated, but since we had the whole deal with Kang and He Who Remains creating the TVA before, I think it would make more sense continuity-wise if you just went with the Kang story, and that way they could finally address it and just have Doom get rid of Kang. I think that would make the most sense. So I think Doom finds out about Kang, he defeats him, and he discovers his lair. And from there, he uses that lair, like the report said, to basically be just a crazy, huge threat. I think this ties in all those other reports because once he gets there, he can go through the archives and he can discover what really happened to his universe and he can discover the cause of it. We've heard that he is going to be hunting down not just Steve Rogers, but many people who have been causing incursions throughout the entire multiverse. Because if he looks at those archives, he can also tell that the entire multiverse is going to eventually be destroyed. That's the trajectory that it's on right now. So he can see that and detect who caused these incursions and probably who will go on to cause incursions. So from here, it is about saving the multiverse, right? Because we've heard Doom is going to be somewhat of a hero. He is truly going to believe himself the hero. And if you think about it, this would make sense. He defeats a villain, first of all, someone he perceives as a villain. Whether you think He Who Remains was right or wrong, his way was the only way or not, Kang, or He Who Remains, is pretty much a villain. So Doom defeats who he believes is a villain. Then he gets to his lair and sees that a lot of these other people are causing entire universes to be destroyed. Millions and billions and trillions of lives are dying due to these people. So he goes and he tries to stop them. Seems kind of heroic when you lay it out like that, right? But of course it's Dr. Doom. He has ulterior motives. He wants to rule everything because that's kind of Doom's nature. So at first you can see how he goes and he sees himself as a hero, but once he realizes that the entire multiverse is going to be destroyed, he's going to basically think that his way, Doom's way, is the only way to save it, which is going to be, as we know, save something, save one thing, and that's going to be Battleworld. That seems like the trajectory that we're on. But so he'll start to go after these people who have caused incursions. And then what's most likely going to happen is Loki is going to try and start saving these people. And Loki's going to start with the TVA and his whole multiversal team trying to grab other people like Tobey Maguire's SpiderMan. We've heard rumors about a Ghost Rider, Gambit, X-23, Deadpool and Wolverine, the multiversal TVA Loki team. And from there, he's probably going to recruit the Avengers. Well, the thing is, once he recruits people inside of universes that don't exist outside of space and time, Doom is going to be able to see that through the Library of Worlds. So then all of a sudden, the Avengers, the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, everybody is going to oppose Doom, all of a sudden become threats to Doom, and that's where the conflict comes into play. Doom is going about killing people throughout the multiverse, killing very important people. That's how the Avengers and the TVA and everybody are going to see that, but Doom views it as him saving the multiverse. So I'd like to know, is there a right side here? Putting aside the fact that Doom is ultimately probably almost definitely, going to want to control the entire multiverse and be the god of it at the end, whose side do you think is right? Is there a right and wrong in this instance? Because Doom's technically not wrong trying to stop people from causing incursions that will eventually destroy the entire multiverse. He's trying to actually save the multiverse. The Avengers think they're doing the right thing though as well because they believe Doom to be a villain. This is what happens in the comics as well. People think Rabam Allah and the Black Swans are villains causing incursions when in reality, they were going throughout the multiverse trying to stop incursions and save the multiverse. I think this is that gray area where we're going to get some of the good Avengers, the good heroes joining Doctor Doom. I think this is why Doctor Strange joins Doctor Doom. Maybe Doctor Doom shows him the Library of Worlds and says, hey, you know, you can see for yourself what's going to happen. I have to stop it. Your Avengers aren't going to stop it. Some of your Avengers are the people who caused the problems, Steve Rogers. And I'm sure we're going to find out that others did as well. So to me, this makes perfect sense. I think they can tie this in a really incredible way. Tie it in with Kang, tie it into Loki and all of the other Avengers, and it ties into his origin of why he is hunting down people who have caused incursions and how he figures out who those people are. So I think this is big. I really hope this leak/report is true. I think it makes a ton of sense. Go ahead, let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. You can also find us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.